You know, when you try to explain how you feel and it somehow makes things worse, like you're trying to be honest, but the conversation suddenly feels tense. This happens a lot with one specific sentence. Picture this. It is your 60th birthday, and you feel a little bit vulnerable this day. Your mother calls in the morning and says, "Happy birthday!" And she starts immediately talking about her bathroom project that she has been talking about for the past 4 weeks every day with you. And 5 minutes later, she remembers she needed to go somewhere and hung up. And there you are, suddenly 60 and in some kind of a late midlife crisis. And your mother hadn't shown any sign of interest in you. You sit with this and you get angrier and angrier. And finally, you make a decision because you have matured. You want to deal with things differently. You decided to call your mother and to tell her how you feel. You want to give her the chance to recognize how hurt you are and maybe to apologize. So 2 days later, you give her a call despite the queasy feeling you have in your stomach, because after all, you know your mother, but you want to give her a chance to make good on that. When she picks up the phone, before you could lose your courage, you blurt out, "When you called me on my birthday, you had no interest in me. All you did was talking about yourself. You did not care about how important this day for me was. I wanted to let you know how disrespected I felt when you did that." How do you think this story ends? Do you think your mother will understand and recognize how hurtful her behavior was for you? Do you think she will apologize and swear on her parents' grave that she will never behave like this ever again? How do you think people react when they hear, "I feel disrespected"? Because when people hear that, they don't really hear a feeling. They hear something else. They hear, "You did something wrong." And when that happens, the conversation changes. Even though that's not what you meant. You were trying to explain how you felt. You were trying to be open and made yourself vulnerable in order to give the other person a chance to see her error. But that's not how it lands. Instead of the other person understanding you, they start reacting to what they think you're saying. Because the word disrespected doesn't just describe what's inside you, it points outward. It sounds like a judgment. You're saying, "You shouldn't have done that." And once people hear that, they usually don't get curious. They feel attacked. They get defensive. People stop listening when they feel judged. And when someone defends themselves, the conversation is not anymore about how you felt. It's about who's right. And that usually is the moment when things start to escalate. Because the interesting part is, the situation itself is not the problem. You calling your mother and telling her how you felt is not the problem. It's the way you said it. The same moment could sound like this. "I'm so angry about you because I felt a little bit depressed that day and I needed some comfort and I had no chance to talk about that. It appeared to me as if I wasn't worth your attention." How do you think your mother would react now? There are no guarantees, of course, but the chances are bigger that your mother could hear your pain now without feeling offended. You're not wrong about what happened, but the way you say it decides what happens next.